Hey guys, it's Jessica from Audacity, and I am here with Parker, owner of Queers and Beers. Woo! Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Y'all, I'm so excited. So Parker is a creative extraordinaire. She is a Leo like me. She is an AKA like me, and she is just the coolest person ever. I'm very blessed to have met her and known her. She was my director for a play that I was in about a year ago now, almost two
hmm
years
hmm
ago. Yeah.
Yep.
So ever since then, she has just been so kind and opening to the community and everything. And we want to highlight her today. This is one of many interviews and articles that you guys are going to see during Audacity's Black Parade. Happy Black History Month, where we will be posting all Black content all month long, celebrating small business owners, young professionals, and creators who are of the blackness, the melanin.
You see it. Y'all see it.
They see
Yeah.
it. They see it. They see it. They feel it. They know it. So tell us, Parker, tell us about how Queers and Beers started because it's such a cool concept.
Yeah, so me and my best friend, one of my best friends and line sister went to Howard together. Right around 2020, people weren't out as much, of course, and that sort of thing, but like 2020, 2021, we would go out together to some like, queer bars and that kind of thing. And we were just very underwhelmed, I'll be honest. Like it
Mm,
didn't feel like we could ever find something that felt like us, that felt like the type of environment that felt good to us. Safety is a big thing. So it's like you go to some of the straight clubs and it's like you got men pushing up against you. And then,
yeah.
in some of the queer spaces, it feels like because they are like these big, diverse spaces, they do attract a lot of people. So sometimes like the music didn't really feel like something I wanted to listen to. Sometimes the people weren't people that I really wanted to kick it with. So we were like, why don't we just create something? And it was really low stakes at first. I mean, we were planning and planning and planning for years about what it could be. But initially it just came down to finding the right partners. And so Hip and Hops Brewery here in Atlanta, Georgia, the first Black owned brewery in Georgia, partnered with us. They were super excited to have us. I think really like the textbook picture of like allyship, open
Mm,
their space to us and let us have it. And from the first one, like even the first one was a big hit. It is a free event. So I think that was another hole we were looking to fill in the community. Like you go to these parties, you have to pay these covers,
cover, drink
you have to pay for
minimum,
parking, yeah, drink, and so we wanted to create something that felt a little bit more like us and like our friends who
accessible.
ourselves, right? But then also something that was accessible for a lot of people. So it has been a great 2 years. We just had our second birthday on January 11th. And yeah, so I mean, we're looking forward to continuing to grow and expand and hopefully keep things as accessible as possible.
It's a really cool organization. I still got to go to a Queers and Beers party. I'm sorry. I'm on the naughty list. I got to get out because I enjoy hip and hops. I got to get out there. But and for those of y'all who don't know, so Queers and Beers is a really cool it's basically I don't want to speak for you, but let me know if I'm like delving it out right to the people. Like it is a meetup group. It's a social meetup group where you're able to sip beer amongst your fellow queers.
Mhm.
And can I say that? Is that's not that's okay to say, right? Okay, cool. I was like, I'll be trying to be careful in communities ain't mine, child. Okay. So yeah, but you get together and you sip beers with your fellow queers. You're able to meet and connect and listen, to music, and it's primarily geared towards the Black queer community. Correct?
Yeah. Yes, that's correct. Of course, everyone is welcome,
Of
but
course.
we wanted to make sure that we had a space that felt good and safe for us to listen to the kind of music that we want to listen to. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's a third space. It's a true third space. Like, sometimes when we have like a couple different types of events that we do. So some of them might be more day party, outside cookout, family reunion type of vibe.
Mhm.
Some of them might feel more like a happy hour, like a game night. We have games on the tables and that sort of thing. And we are soon going to be releasing a different type of event. I guess I can talk about it here. Might as well, but
They
we
don't
are.
drop till February, so let them
I
know.
know and it's in February, so this probably is going to be the perfect time. But we're going to do our first kind of like grown and sexy R&B, more of an R&B only type of vibe. So looking
Ooh.
forward to that coming up on February 13th, and we'll also be doing that with a new venue partner. So really excited about that. So we're trying to make sure the events are diversified so that like if you don't really like the party scene, there is still something for you. But yeah, I think that you described it perfectly.
Awesome. And I'm super excited to see how this brand grows because you guys grew exponentially in just 2 years. And I want to talk about how y'all accomplished that. Like, what's the secret sauce? How are you guys able to do this? Like, scale, growth and scale is one of the biggest challenges, especially for small businesses and especially for community-based businesses, because it's very hard to sell community to people. So, what would you say was the secret sauce for growing this particular community so quickly? Like, do you think it was community need? Do you think y'all just got it like that? Like, what was the situation? Probably both of the things, but because she's
Right. I was
technically
like, I'm not gonna put my Leo hat on too much and be like, it's because we got it like that. But
period.
maybe that is part. I think it is part of it that we just offer something that's really unique. So I think it's all of those things. I think it's community need, especially that piece of it being free. Like
Mm,
our goal in this was not to make money. It was really to fill a need that we saw in the community while also helping out a Black-owned business. So,
hmm.
when we chatted with Hip and Hops about it, we're like, we want to come in on a day where you don't normally have a lot of foot traffic. Like, how can we help y'all? So
Right.
really, honestly, I think it's the authenticity of our mission and what we're doing. You know what I mean? We did at one point try a party. We did one party, like a pride party that we charged tickets for, and it really just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel rooted and grounded in what it is that we do. So I think that
Yeah.
people are looking for spaces where they can, just show up, even if they don't have a lot of money, even if they don't have
Right.
like precious clothes on. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
can still show up and get community. And I think that authenticity is something that I often hear from our consumers is something that they feel resonant through our brand. And I think that's the thing. So I think it really is about authenticity and whatever that looks like for the organization that you're building. And people feel that.
I love that, and it does feel like a very authentic situation. Like I've only been following via Instagram for a while now, like since I met you, and I'm like, this is so cool. Like, look at all the love that's in the room. I see like the videos and stuff like that. So that's super exciting. I also wanted to just touch on like the accessibility point and the communal point that you're mentioning here. So what I find so interesting is that there isn't enough space for the Black queer community, and we live in Atlanta. How the hell has this happened?
Mm-hmm. I think it's capitalism, honestly. Sorry, guys,
Say it
my
again.
cat wants to make a cameo on that point.
Oh, bring him in, bring
But she's gonna make an appearance at some point, I'm sure. But
him in.
but yeah, I think that that's what it is. Now, I will say in recent years, like I mean, really right around the time that we started, a little bit before, there was this kind of emergence of these queer meetup groups. You got Alt ATL, you got Black ATL, Friend Zone. There's a lot of really cool organizations that are doing the work. Of course, you've always got Southern Fried, which
Yeah,
to a little bit more of a diverse crowd. But I think it's a lot of things. I think that, there aren't a lot of spaces that hold space for Black queer folks in Atlanta. Like there are not a lot of physical spaces. There are a lot of like groups that do it and like
yeah,
find space. So, I mean, I think one thing I would love is to see another like lesbian bar, another, or,
yeah,
queer friendly bar. Like we have MSR. I know that there's others that I haven't heard of or like are not right in my conscious awareness. I know that there's lots of like bars for like, gay men, but
right.
I just feel like there's just not enough space. There's not enough physical space for us. We don't have enough like gathering spaces. And I think
Yeah,
that is the main thing. So it's like people are resorted to kind of like how it has been, how it was back in the day. We're inside, we're at people's houses,
yeah,
we're throwing bags. We are creating our safe space. And I do think it is kind of up to us to create our safe spaces because as some of our counterparts, we don't have people who are doing it for us. And we
right,
might not have the resources to have our own like brick and mortar place. So I
right.
think that's what it is, unfortunately.
I
But
mean, that
nobody can
makes
do it
sense.
but us, at
Yeah,
the same time. So it's like I appreciate that, there are so many queer organizations here that have kind of stepped up to fill that void. And it can feel authentic because it's not like someone just doing it to get money
mhm.
to attract a certain crowd. So
Do you suspect at all that there's a level of misogyny and misogynoir that is also holding this back?
absolutely.
Cool. I mean, I thought that too, but I want I
Yeah.
want to give you the room to say it.
Absolutely, always. I think it unfortunately is something that, even in the queer community, we don't want to
Yeah,
center, like the male gaze and the patriarchy and all of that. But
yeah,
It all trickles down for sure.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
very much like in black community, like in just like black communities in general, where like we got all of our like in-house problems and stuff. And so we don't like talking about it because we don't want to show a weak front to, like you said, our white counterparts. But it does make me wonder if that also holds us back from doing the work to heal and to fix the things in-house that we need to do. Um, if you had a magic wand, how would you fix that situation, you think?
I think I would provide resources to the people in the community that are doing the work. Like if I had a my magic one would be one of like resources. It
Yeah.
would, because as an organizer, like it is challenging to, like really have your ear to the ground, figure out what the people want, combined with like your ideas, combined with like your
Hmm.
budget, combined with like the space that is actively available and within your budget.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that you're juggling and trying to pull these events off. So I think it would just be there's a lot of people doing the work. It would just be giving them more resources. Like it would just be
Yeah.
making sure that people have the funding, the sponsorships, like the things that they need to get the reach. Because that's another thing.
Right.
We can have these events, but it's like it is a lot to have organizations like yourself that are like helping us get the word out and making sure that we can touch all the people that we want to touch. So I think that's my thing. I think people are doing great work, but we just need more resources. And I mean, if
Yeah.
I really could just wave a magic wand, I put, a physical brick and mortar space for us somewhere, throughout Atlanta. Like there should be one in Decatur, there should be one in
Right.
Southwest, there should be one in Buckhead, like to make sure that everyone has a place that they could go.
I love that. So, with that in mind, you mentioned like, people need resources. They also need manpower. They need manpower, human power. They need human power. They need a team. So, tell us about the Queers and Beers team.
Yeah. So,
How y'all keeping this ship going?
yeah, like I said, this is the brainchild of myself and my best friend, line sister, Magic, the illustrious DJ Magic. Love her so much. Make sure you follow her at your girl, DJ Magic. She, at the top of this year, moved to DC. So my heart shattered, obviously, but
Oh,
because it's my best friend, obviously, and we've
yeah,
lived
of
in the same
course.
city for 6 years now. But yeah, we work really, really well as a team. And so we are hiring, well, we at this point will have just hired a number of operations assistants who will, we'll start to train so that they can truly like, help us as we grow and as we expand. And then we also are doing like a DJ residency program. So we'll have like a DJ resident every season of the year is how we're planning it now to highlight some of the DJs, make sure that they have consistent work, the people who really feel like they have captured our sound really well. And then we will probably continue that model, making some tweaks as we need to as the years go forward. But it has definitely been we work well together, me and Magic, but it's been a lift for just the two of us as people who
Yeah,
are also full-time creatives, also have
yeah,
full-time jobs.
yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to have some help for sure. And I mean, I think the thing that I also really love in terms of team about Queers and Beers, because this is so community centered, the community always helps. Like I
Yeah.
always not been a Queers and Beers to date that someone hasn't hit my line like, do you need help setting up? Or people get there early, like, do you need help moving tables? Afterwards, there's always people who are willing to like help break down and walks up to the car. So I think I feel extremely grateful for the way that the community has showed up in that regard. And I hope that that continues as we expand. So.
That is amazing. Like y'all got a strong community around you. And I know we touched on this a little bit when we said like, how are you able to sell this? Because like we said, like community-based brands and businesses, they're a hard sell, right? And a lot of that is really just to lean into like how unique your idea is and the authenticity of your idea and how you're building and building in love. So for people who are looking to start something that's also community-based, do you have any advice for them on how that they can get started, how they can grow?
Absolutely. I think the first thing is just being super clear about what your vision is and
Mm,
what your why is and some things that are like really non-negotiables for me and for us. I feel like it is wanting this to be a safe space, wanting it to feel like community centered, and for it being accessible. So with those as our pillars, it makes it very easy for us to make decisions on things as we expand. It makes it very like a no is a clear no, you know what I mean, and a yes
right.
this alone is a clear yes.
The
So
hard yes.
Exactly. So I think the first step is like getting really clear on what that is. And then I would say partnership, like finding other organizations or, restaurants or companies or, meetup groups or whatever that are kind of aligned with what it is that you're wanting to do and figure out how you can work together. I think there's a beautiful thing about like networking across, right? Like I feel like a lot of times we like, I'm a writer and director as well. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna send my script to Issa. I'm gonna send my script to Issa so I can be on HBO. You know what I mean? But I
You
think,
should.
I'm in them DMs, girl. Issa, if you see this, DMs, girl. But
Issa, if you see this,
right, you got writer, you got a director, actor combo right here. Um, but yeah, I think it's like that is a thing, and that is definitely a surefire way to elevate. But also, like, how can you network across and figure out how we can like lift each other up? Like,
right?
what things do you have access to that someone else doesn't? Maybe you have a DJ or you are a DJ and you have the sound, but there's somebody else, there's a really cool queer owned something, or I mean, it doesn't have to be queer because it could be anything, but community owned,
Right.
whatever that maybe they're struggling. So maybe you go in and you just run sound for them for, their slow days or, you know what I mean? So I think it's really like figuring out what your niche is, what your thing is, and then finding people that align. And I think the other thing is that like don't be so worried about growth, right? Like I mean, I
Yeah.
feel lucky and fortunate that like Queers and Beers has kind of been a hit since day one. I mean, I was so shocked. I was like, whoa, the very first one was completely packed out. But I think that like there is a beauty to doing a test run with your friends. Like do something at your
Yeah.
house, do something in your backyard, do something, at the rec center or at the library. You know what I mean? Like you could do things on smaller scale and learn
Mhm.
those things. And I think take what you learn and figure out how you can expand and grow that. But like you don't have to be focused on the end goal at your first one. Like Dochi said, you are allowed to not be good
Right.
at it. You are allowed to like figure it out as you go.
And I think people are so worried about not being immediately good at things. Like, as millennials, we were like these super high achievers coming up, and that's why
Exactly.
everyone's burned out and we just turned 30. It doesn't make any kind of sense. But
Exactly.
that's really great advice. That's beautiful advice actually, because I think a lot of people kind of freeze themselves from even being able to start because they're so worried that it's going to fail.
Exactly.
And sometimes you gotta just start. You gotta, I always tell people like, do it scared, in the words of Will Smith. Do it scared
For real.
and and see what happens. You might surprise yourself.
I mean, in either way, you learn how to make it better. That's the thing. It's like you never
Right.
know how to make it better and what things to improve on if you don't start somewhere. So
Exactly.
do it scared.
Exactly. And I do want to ask you a little bit more about collaborations
Yeah.
because, well, for one thing, I'd love to collaborate with you in some kind of way. This is one of the ways we're doing it. Yay. But,
Yeah,
and we can talk about that off camera.
for
But
sure.
but I saw a video. It was the owner of the Modern Mystic shop down at Pont City Market, where they had like the crystals and the sage and everything.
Yeah.
And she's saying like we're seeing a slow death of small businesses, specifically in Atlanta. And a lot of people were agreeing. I even said this in the comments that like it's even hard now to collaborate because everyone's so busy trying to keep their own oxygen mask on. They're so worried about just keeping the lights on with their
Right.
businesses, be it metaphorical or literal,
Yeah.
that a lot of people are kind of going into their caves. How would you suggest that we, for lack of a better term, try to ease ourselves out of that?
Mm. Oof,
We
man.
gotta rediscover each other in some kind of way and figure out because we still need each other. If anything, we need to collaborate more than we did before because resources are so limited. And wondering what your thoughts or your insight is on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think partnership has just been, for me as an artist, as a, event curator has been invaluable.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it is figuring out how we can lean on each other and how we can resource share. And then I think on the part, and I think that is the part of the organizers and the business owners, right?
Hmm.
How can I partner, like I said earlier, partner with people who are aligned and feel a need for them as they feel a need for me. But then on the part of the consumer, it's also important that we are seeking these things out. Like I said, like I just said myself, I was like, the only lesbian bar I know about is MSR. I know that's not the only one. Like, I mean, I know there's like
Right.
sports, there's like, you know what I mean? So it is also on me to seek out what it is that I'm looking to consume, like being very intentional about that and making sure that I am putting my dollars where my values are, you know?
Right.
Um, yeah, I mean, I think that there's also just things that we can do to be creative. Like, I mean, there's lots of community markets and things like Southern Fried Queer Pride does a great job of like doing really nice markets. And I know there's a couple other groups that do that as well. Going to those things, sharing those with your small business owner friends that might need, a place where they can get rapid sales. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think it's a community thing. I mean, I honestly think we just need a group chat. Like, we just need a group chat
Oh,
for
I'd
real.
love a group chat with other small businesses.
A
Like
group
be
chat or a
like screw the
calendar.
Facebook groups. I don't give a damn about the Facebook groups. I want a group chat where I can get rapid response.
Yeah, a group chat, a calendar. Like, I mean, I've always long wanted like a calendar of where people can put their events for, like queer folks, BIPOC, whatever, like for you to be able to find your people. I know there are some
Yeah.
pages, things that do it, just in general Atlanta, but like how do we find each other? You know what I mean?
That's a good idea, that community calendar thing. You should start that.
Okay, I'm on
Yeah,
it.
you should do that. But then I'm like, because Queers and Beers has a website, right?
You don't. Oh my God. We don't have a web.
Oh, I mean, that's one of the things you could put on there.
For sure, for sure. No, you're right. I mean, and if anybody's watching this wants to help us out with the web on the website front, you can slide in our DMs. But yeah, I mean, we mainly are operating on Instagram. We're trying to move our like ticketing to like an Eventbrite or something like that just for tracking purposes.
Yeah.
Things will be free. Everything's still going to be free for now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do need a website. So website designers, hit me up, please. Slide in my DMs, please.
Y'all call her, please. We need
Help
a
me.
Queers and Beers website and that community calendar because that's a really great idea.
Yeah,
That's
and
a
then
great idea.
submit to put it on there, and then have everything in one location would be great.
Hmm. Ooh, I love this. I look forward to seeing you do this.
And hold me accountable.
Oh, I will. I don't forget things. I'm a Leo.
I know you will. I already know
If
you will.
only we could forget things, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so as we bring this to a close, as we land this plane, I need to know what is next for Queers and Beers. Now you said the R&B only style event is coming up.
Yep.
How can we support you guys?
You can support us. I mean, definitely following us, sharing out anything that we post. We're trying to sh share our dates seasonally now, as opposed to, one by one as they come up, because we've got some interest from some folks out of town who said they want to travel in. So we're trying to like announce dates really like 1 or 4 months.
Early. Yeah.
Um, I mean, and then you can donate. Like by the time this will be out, there will be a place probably on our Instagram where you can donate. Because we're trying really, really hard to keep things free, but we also have to pay our DJs. We have to pay our assistant.
Exactly.
I have not gotten paid from Queers and Beers. Like it's a passion project. I haven't gotten paid, but I'm like, it would be cool to be able to like, put some gas in my car when I'm hauling stuff to the event, stuff like that. So if you could
It'd be
donate
nice.
anything to help with operations, that would be great. But a kind word, a review wherever you can leave a review, even at the businesses that we partner with. Because I mean, just going there and saying like we were there for Queers and Beers, we absolutely loved it. Also, is helpful to
Hmm.
us. Help maintain our relationships with our vendor partners. And then yeah, like I said, just share, 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 share. Tell your new friends that moved to the city that they can find us. We'll be doing more social media engagement, maybe TikTok. We'll see where TikTok is at this point in February. Maybe some stuff on TikTok. I don't know. But share
Wow.
content, share, tell your friends, and then come party with us. Come on.
Yes.
Come on
I,
out.
I always tell people when it comes to small businesses and small brands and stuff like that, the best thing you can do is spend your money. Like spend your money and show your face.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
we love the likes, we love the shares, we love the comments, but we need y'all to be actually like engaged so we can quantify what it is that we're doing. Like you can show up for us the way you show up for Trader Joe's.
And can. And I mean, another thing that I think I hear a lot is that because people will see what we post on our stories and be like, oh my gosh, like I'm introverted or, like I'm neurodivergent in some way. I don't know if this is a space for me. And I understand that. I think there definitely are spaces that like are just quieter and cater to like that crowd.
Yeah.
But the advice I would give is like if you come to Queers and Beers early, if you come in within the first hour, hour and a half, there's so many people that come early alone and then, end up staying all night talking to new
Yeah.
friends they made. So if you come early, you can kind of scope it out, find your
Yeah.
people. Find a game of Uno that you can like join in. And then of course, as things get bigger and louder or whatever, you can of course excuse yourself. But I just don't want people to think that like you have to be a certain level of like popping or out
Yeah.
going to be able to enjoy our events. 'Cause I think there can be community found there for anyone,
It's
really.
literally for everybody, y'all. I strongly encourage y'all to join their next event. Guys, make sure you follow Queers and Beers. I'm gonna put their Instagram in the description and the date for your next event so people can sign up for that. I'll put that in the description here as well. Guys, if you like this content, we need to know. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, drive up that algorithm, make sure you share, and we will see y'all next time.
Yeah, next time. Bye.